Let's see what Janna top does. So Janna top starts Smite, Glacial, and support item, and that's it. Nothing else. Then they late invade bot, because, I mean, Janna top, double Smite. Late invade, play range. We have 4 range champs and a Kayn. Just play for Kayn. Ward, push out enemy jungle. Top has to stay, so other top can't farm as well. He's farming his support item gold. They didn't actually get the Raptors or the invade, but I guess I got Ephilos flash. And then what Janna does is she just lanes bot. Okay, it sounds weird, but she doesn't take XP, and she lanes bot. You'll see. She's an absolute nuisance to the enemy jungle. He should have stole this red, but the wards got swept, which is unlucky. That's the idea here. And then, yeah, the champ is just really annoying. So he's going to run mid and run to top now. I think he gets level 3 from top soon. But, yeah, I didn't see the early game of this game. So let's see. Hovering bot constantly. Always has kill pressure bot because, I mean, it's 3v2. But she's not taking XP from the wave, importantly. And now, they're 4-man trying to dive bot. And enemy jungle has to stay bot side. Just so you know, Ornn cleared top waves. He TP top, pushed top, and now he's roaming mid. So I feel like maybe the Ornn is unsure what to do. I think when you play against Janna top, the best thing to have is a scaling champ. Or some kind of like insane side laner like Kayle or something. Or Vladimir, some master team fighter that has a free lane because you are literally 1 versus 0. Cool. So it's 4 minutes in and Janna top's going top now. He's going to go top and he's going to catch a couple waves and get level 3, I think. And then he's going to do the same thing again. It's really disturbing. So the way this works is because the enemy Ornn is going to be up in levels and up in XP, you basically leverage objective bounties. You leverage objective bounties and you make the map 3v2 bot side forever. If anything, 4v2 if your jungle hovers. So he gets level 2, gets a little bit of, I think, support. I'm not sure anyway, but now he runs around. I think, is he going to pull Krugs for his jungler and smite them? Yeah, he is. So he's funneling his jungler. This was an R5 Janna pick. Yeah, R5 Janna. I think it makes sense. Look at their comp. This Ornn TF, dude, Ornn TF, like that's completely int. I have to say, Giants draft is a bit disgusting. Funnel your jungler. Jungle's level 5. The reason I think their comp's disgusting is they're playing TF Tamkench Ornn. I hate TF Tamkench Ornn. Really terrible. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. You have no real anywhere to play for. First of all, TF can't play topside because they have Janna top anyway, but with Ornn it's bad. And second of all, you can't ever ult bot because, yeah, look, dragons is what they funnel. Funnel dragons, start Drake, early Drakes, smite, double smite, get it going. Jungle's higher level. Ornn's getting plates top, but it doesn't matter. Janna's level 2, so she's fine. Smile. And now look what Janna does. Gonna help him on Grump as well. Give him some smites, give him some damage, give him some shields, and then she's gonna hover bot again. Doesn't want to take any XP from lanes though. Doesn't want to take XP from lanes because he wants to stay low level. Well, now he'll base. Maybe he'll go top. Well, top wave's pushing. I could base and, you know, see what happens. So now he's gonna go funnel his jungle camps again. Help him do jungle camps. Look at this Kayn CS. He's already 20 CS up, so he's like, yeah. He's gonna catch top waves when they bounce. So I think Giants are reading the map here saying, actually, wait, let's just lane swap maybe and try to take this top tower. Janna catches waves. Important thing is Janna does not stay in lane. Does not stay in lane. Really bad. Only stay in lane for level 3, I think, and then, yeah, give the rest to Kayn. They tried to force a Herald fight. That's why they're swapping, of course. And they grief the Herald fight. So now that they've griefed the Herald fight, I think that's it. If they won this Herald fight, Giants, which they should win, because this is kind of when they're strongest with a level 7 Ornn versus a level 3 Janna, then they can probably win the game. But because they inted this Herald, and the enemy team with a level 3 Janna is going to win this Herald fight, that's when I think the game's over. I think this is the only chance you have as blue team to win the game. But you're 4v5, well, 4v4 kind of with the Janna, and they get the Herald. So out. Kayn at 89 CS right now. He's going to have around 10 CS per minute, I think. And I think it's all about matching your bot lane into enemy bot lane. Why is it bad to mismatch? Because the Janna has no job then. The reason Janna wants to make sure his bot lane's matching is because the Janna hovers around that lane and it makes it so the 2v2 is always in their favor. Doesn't take XP, but always ganks them worst case if they step up, and always contest vision. So you're basically, it's almost like your jungler's hovering here constantly while your jungler's farming. Does that make sense? How can enemy bot lane play the lane when there's a Janna constantly here? You basically lose no matter what. And while you're winning the 2v2, your jungler is farming. So then, this is why it's powerful to have a split pusher here. Because while they're 5v3ing you top, the Ornn is basically 1v0, but what is the Ornn gonna get if he's ahead? You know, like, yeah, he'll be tanky, sure, but your Varus should be really far ahead. Cool, Herald top, get 4 plates, swap back. Why? Dragons up. Why do you want to get dragon? Because your comp needs to get dragons, needs to snowball dragons, because you're basically numbers advantage across the map. Only thing now is bot lane has to play safe while Janna is helping with Drake, and then Janna can help with more camps, give him a smite. This is the only time Giants really have pressure, so they have to dive. I think diving here is really good. Really smart identification, good dive. Syndra TPs, dies as well. This is perfect. This is the only chance they're going to get a 5-man. But what's happening mid? Well, Kayn is farming mid waves and plates and bot camps. So every play that you're doing, it feels like they can even out on the plays because your jungler's getting so far ahead. And of course, I mean, they're playing TF Ornn, Tahm Kench. Like, they don't really have that much damage for to kill Kayn when it's 3 or 4 items. Aphelios has to carry, but yeah, I feel like they have too much damage for that. With like Kayn, Varus, Thresh, I don't know, man. This is so disgusting. Anyway, top tower is dead. Varus is funneled to infinity. Kayn is funneled to infinity. He just caught bot wave as well. He's at 140 CS against 83. He wins 1v1 against their top laner. He's farming his form. Oh yeah, the Janna got Herald plates because she picked it up. I don't know if that was intentional that the Janna picked it up. I haven't seen too many Janna tops, but I mean, helps him with gold income, I guess. Swiftness boots Kindle Gem, running around the map. Doesn't take XP. Level 6, I think, is the sweet spot. And Giants are going to force the second Herald, which should help them get a mid tower. But yeah, their bot lane swap back. Their bot lane's going to get another full tower. Syndra has to be careful here. Nice flash. The reason Giants, I think, are grouping and trying to force things is because they have Ornn, right? And Ornn farming sideways is not going to get him that strong, right? This champ won't be like the super carry. Need a Kayle, need a Vlad, need something that's really, really dangerous in fights. That's why I think it's an R5 pick. I don't think blind pick Janna top is going to be a thing. To me, it looks like a counter pick, last pick into a weak side, I don't know, some kind of weak side top or some top that's not really scary. Anyway, Kayn 160 CS, Gore Drinker. I don't know if he has his form yet. How do I explain this? A lot of the times when you're playing jungle, you have to cover your lane. So like when you lane swap there and your Varus Thresh are laning top and Aphelios Tahm are laning top, it's always really important for jungle to be on the top side of the map because he needs to make sure that his bot lane gets the push because that's how you unlock heralds, right? And first swaps back to Drake. What you'll see teams do sometimes is they'll base with their bot lane, run top, push out waves, and then base again and run back bot. And this is just to attribute to two things. One, keep in tempo ahead of enemy bots to keep both your sides pushing because your top lane is losing. Or so your jungler can cycle through each area of his camps. In this case, Kayn does not have to give a fuck about hovering around his bot lane ever. If you watch the last 5 minutes of the game, Kayn is farming while Janna is hovering on that side. Cool. Now, team fight. Level 11 Kayn with form. Janna level 6. Double smite as well. Problem is, Giants just need to engage, but it's so hard. They get the Drake. Kayn can't steal it. Team fight happens. Varus is really strong. Giants, not bad. Didn't see this fight. Not bad. Double kill for Varus, though. Well, 2 for 2. But they got the Drake. Interesting that they don't actually have any objective bounties yet. Now, when I read a lot about Janna top, objective bounties was like one of the biggest reasons this was strong, because you're down in levels, down in creeps, down in gold. The game just thinks, oh, we'll give them objective bounties. I guess that's kind of balanced out by the fact that you can force early Drakes, and so the objective bounties can't get like taken that easily, or being given that easily. But then that's a good thing, because if you're not getting objective bounties, then that means your bot lane must be really fucking far ahead. Or you're really far ahead in objectives. So it's a win-win. You either get the objectives and you're far ahead, or you don't get the objectives, you're strong enough to make sure that you do get the objective bounties, right? Tryndamere, Fiora, something like this could also work into Janna top. Anything that can take towers fast or scales really well. These are the two things. So yeah, I guess there's two ways of playing it. You play for the Drakes to stop the objective bounties, to scale better. Or you leave the Drakes so you get objective bounties to get more gold income, right? So you can see Kayn is the one catching side lanes. Now that's slightly dangerous, of course, because you'll get collapse on. And this will happen. But you're Kayn, and you're incredibly fed. You're level 13, and the Janna saves you. So they're scaling really well. Giants overforce a play, another kill for Varus. Now Varus is actually a really big part of this game. Like, he is the carry. But Kayn is also the carry. And Syndra just needs to make sure she's useful. You can see this Kayn is absolutely unkillable. He's 3 levels up on enemy jungler at 20 minutes. And that's it. Everyone's dead. That's a free Baron. Now it's over. Look at Giants' face. They know this game is fucked. Like, what the fuck is... What do we do, guys? It isn't about objective bounties. It really isn't. Please stop focusing on this, because this isn't the issue. In 95%, it wins the rate. Okay, so a lot of people think that, like, it's about objective bounties. Now, it is about objective bounties. Very small, right? Okay, so catch-up bounties do apply if the Janna can't find anything and you lose Drakes. So that's your like, plan C fallback option is objective bounties, right? Plan A for this comp is to lane 3v2 bot without Janna taking XP to have pushing bot. Janna's also hovering mid, so that's kind of a 2v1. So he's doing the jungler's job while his jungler is power farming and catching top waves. Yes, And plan A is also Drakes. So this is how the game should work. Your mid and bot should be ahead enough with Drakes that it merits the Janna deficit. And now your fallback plan is the objective bounties. Okay? Also, I think it's very important for comp. You need a jungler that scales well and can really take over fights. I think Kayn is a good example of one of them. What would be another good jungler that could just take over fights? Maybe Kha'Zix or something? Or some kind of Xin Zhao might work. Olaf could work. I think Kayn is definitely the most reliable. Viego would be fantastic. Hecarim, decent. These kind of champs that really scale on 2 items. Really spike on 2 items. And scale to infinity, right? Lee Sin would be bad, for example. Lee Sin would be terrible. Zed would be bad. Talon would not be great. Karthus would not be great either, unless you have an AD mid. Diana would be okay as well if you had an AD mid. But yeah, Hecarim is a good example. Viego is a good example. Kayn. Look at how strong they are. Like, Miss Moonstone Janna is absolutely everywhere. Now, I mean, this is only one game we saw. It's only one sample size. I think the strategy definitely has holes. But I think the holes for this strategy come from draft. I really do think the majority of the holes from the strategy come from draft. Will there be any more Janna tops in pro play? Maybe. I think the only team that can play Janna top is Red Side, unless Red Side blind picks their top early. So I would say Red Side is probably the only Janna tops we'll see, and into a tank, into an Ornn blind pick, into a Sion blind pick, into a Gragas blind pick, perhaps. Yeah, also, another important thing to note is double sidestone. Yeah, like, the amount of vision they're going to have on the map is ridiculous. Like, look at what my circles are. There's a ward in every circle I just drew. Like, the whole map is warded. And the Janna just kind of stands around and watches her team win. And just plays full peel, full shielding. Now, I do think you have to be good at Janna. Like, you're a CC bot for disengage. You're good in sieges because of the zone you have. And you're also really good in fights, of course, because, I mean, you peel really well. But if you're a griefing Janna, then of course you're going to be useless. But Dreedy's playing it pretty well. So this is the 4th Drake spawning. Just started. Free as fuck. Thoughts on Hullbreaker Rush? Yeah, I think if you're playing something like Urgot, I think Hullbreaker Rush on Urgot and Sion is probably a good idea. But I really think the best thing is always just going to be some kind of late game powerhouse. And I think it's like a champion like Jax does the job of Hullbreaker without having Hullbreaker, right? Because his side lane push is just so nuts. You need, like, if you look at the map right now, what is it that makes this comp weak? Well, imagine you had a Jax who was just pushing bot, hitting this. What deals with Jax on their comp? Really hard. They have to send at least 2 people minimum to deal with Jax. Yorick or something just bursting or blasting down their side towers. This would be the biggest struggle they'd have. But yeah, Urgot's not really meta. Yorick's not really meta. And if you're blind picking, the problem is, you can say Urgot and you can say, like, with Hullbreaker, you can say Yorick with Hullbreaker. But are you really going to blind pick these champs in a competitive game? Like, you can't blind pick these champs. So you have this hole where if you blind pick a tank, you get Janna top. If you blind pick a carry, you get countered. And if you blind pick some psycho thing for Janna counterpick, then they're not going to pick Janna. So you can say that these champs are good. Like, people are writing Nasus, Fiora, all this stuff. Guys, they have blind picking top. You can't just blind pick these top laners and pick this strategy because you think they're going to pick Janna. Because then they just won't pick Janna, right? It's not always going to happen. Now, Giants, I think, played pretty poorly as well. Like, this Herald fight is... You should not lose this Herald fight in any universe. And winning that Herald fight would give you tempo on 2 lanes. Why? Because if you lost Tam would take top tier 1 and you'd be heralding mid and they'd be getting bot tower, or vice versa. But in this case, what actually happened was they actually took your top tower and bot tower by swapping, and all they lost was 1. So they were actually ahead in tempo when they shouldn't be, when you should have won this Herald fight. You can't flex Janna support top. No, you can't do it. You can't do it on red side. I feel like they could just draft into you so easily. Like, if you slam Janna first rotation, I feel like they can just slam Blitzcrank 2-3 and... I don't know what's going to happen in the game, but it's going to be Armageddon, but the Blitzcrank probably is going to win that game. And then they just win. Wow, I can't believe it. This game just looks so one-sided from the Herald, that's it. Maybe one Dragon fight went 2 for 2, but even then, like, BAR scaling so hard.